How many people do you know who let their mind control them instead of the other way around? Take a moment to think about that. They wake up, and before their day even begins, their mind is already shaping how it will unfold. Thoughts of worry, doubt, fear, and anxiety start flooding in. The mind is incredibly powerful, but if you don't take charge of it, it will take charge of you. Think of the mind like an untamed horse. Left unchecked, it will run aimlessly without direction, purpose, or focus. But when you learn to control it, when you take the reins, you can guide that power. The difference between success and failure in life isn't just about circumstances, resources, or even talent. More often, it comes down to how well you manage your mind. The mind is the true battleground where success or failure is determined. Make no mistake, it's a daily battle. Every day, we face the challenge of mastering our thoughts. The mind can be our greatest ally or our worst enemy. It can elevate us to incredible heights or pull us into deep despair. The key difference between those two extremes lies in what we allow into our mind and how we choose to direct our thoughts. You've likely heard the saying, as you think, so shall you become. This idea has been around for centuries, and it remains just as true today. The quality of your life is directly linked to the quality of your thoughts. So what are you feeding your mind? What are you allowing to take root in your consciousness? If you constantly fill your mind with negativity, self-doubt, and fear, don't be surprised when your life starts reflecting those things. But if you nourish it with positivity, belief, and hope, you'll begin to see changes you never thought possible. Think about this. The mind is always active, always processing information, even when you're not consciously aware of it. It's that inner voice that knows your potential, understands your dreams, and recognizes your values. It's that same voice that will carry you through difficult times. Now, that doesn't mean you should ignore feedback or advice. That's not the point. There's wisdom in seeking counsel, but there's a difference between seeking wisdom and seeking approval. Seeking wisdom means you're open to learning and adjusting your course when needed. Seeking approval, on the other hand, means waiting for permission to be yourself, to take action on your dreams. And if you wait for everyone's approval, you'll be waiting a lifetime. Why do we care so much about what others think? Because we're wired for connection. We want to belong. We fear rejection. We worry that stepping outside expectations will isolate us. But here's the paradox. The more you try to fit into someone else's mold, the more you lose the very uniqueness that makes you valuable. And ironically, it's your authenticity, your individuality, that attracts the right people to you. Not everyone is going to like you. Not everyone will understand you. And that's okay. It's not your job to be liked by everyone. Your job is to stay true to who you are and pursue your dreams with everything you've got. The right people, the ones who align with your values and understand your vision, will find you. And the ones who don't, they were never meant to be part of your journey. They're just background noise. Many people go through life on autopilot, letting their mind run wild and simply reacting to whatever comes their way. But self-awareness is different. It's about stepping back, observing your thoughts, and asking yourself, is this thought serving me? Is it bringing me closer to my goals, or is it holding me back? Now, don't get me wrong, self-awareness isn't about criticizing yourself or feeling guilty for having negative thoughts. We all experience them from time to time, but it is about recognizing those thoughts and deciding whether you'll let them stay or replace them with something more constructive. Here's a technique I use to help take control of my thoughts. I call it thought replacement. When a negative thought appears, don't resist it. Because when you fight against something, you actually give it more energy, more power. Instead, replace it. If you catch yourself thinking, I'm not good enough, swap it for I am capable, I am strong, I am worthy. If you start believing, I can't do this, replace it with I can handle this. I've faced challenges before, and I'll face them again. The mind can only hold one thought at a time. It's like a glass of water. If the water is dirty, you don't clear it by focusing on the dirt. You clear it by pouring in clean water. The more clean water you pour in, the clearer it becomes. In the same way, the more positive, empowering thoughts you feed your mind, the less space there is for negativity. And here's something else. You become what you consistently tell yourself. If you keep repeating that you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not capable, your mind will believe it. But if you start telling yourself a different story, your mind will believe that too. This is why affirmations are so powerful. Affirmations are simply statements that reinforce what you want to be true in your life. They help train your mind to think in alignment with your goals and aspirations. So ask yourself, what are you affirming in your life? Are you affirming your potential, your ability to succeed, your capacity for greatness? Or are you affirming your doubts, your fears, and your limitations? What you affirm, you become. That's why it's so important to be mindful of your words and the story you tell yourself. because that story will shape your reality. Now, one of the biggest challenges in mastering your mind is fear. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience, and if we let it, it can easily take control of our thoughts. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These fears can paralyze us, keeping us stuck, unable to move forward. But here's the truth about fear. It only exists in your mind. Fear is a product of your thoughts, and because it comes from your thoughts, you have the power to control it. When fear arises, don't run from it, face it, acknowledge it, and then ask yourself, is this fear real or is it just a thought? Most of the time, fear is nothing more than a mental projection, an idea of what might happen, not what is happening. And since it's just a thought, you have the power to change it. You can reframe it, see it from a different perspective, and take away its control. Here's something I learned a long time ago. The best way to overcome fear is through action. Fear thrives on inaction. The longer you sit with it, the stronger it becomes. But the moment you take action, no matter how small, you weaken fear's grip. You start to realize that fear is just an illusion, a creation of the mind. And the more you move forward, the less power it has over you. Now, another key to mastering your mind is focus. What you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you'll find more problems. If you focus on solutions, you'll discover more solutions. If you focus on scarcity, you'll experience more lack. But if you shift your focus to abundance, you'll start seeing abundance everywhere. The mind works like a magnifying glass. Whatever you direct it toward becomes larger in your experience. So ask yourself, where is your focus? Are you focusing on what you want or what you don't want? Are you focusing on possibilities or are you stuck on obstacles? You have the power to control your focus. You decide where to direct your attention. And let me tell you, your attention is one of the most valuable resources you have. Don't waste it on things that don't serve you. Don't spend it on negativity, distractions, or anything that pulls you away from your goals. Be intentional with your focus. Choose to direct it toward what moves you closer to where you want to be. And here's something important about focus. It's not just about what you think, it's about how long you think it. You can have a positive thought, but if it only lasts for a moment before you slip back into old patterns, it won't make much of a difference. You have to sustain your focus. You have to keep your mind fixed on what you want, even when distractions try to pull you away. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but it's easier said than done. And you're right, it is easier said than done. But here's the good news. You can get better at it with practice. Like any skill, mastering your mind takes time and effort. You won't perfect it overnight, but with consistency, you'll improve. And the better you get at it, the more control you'll have over your life. Think of your mind like a garden. A garden needs care, attention, and effort. If you neglect it, weeds will grow, and those weeds will choke out the plants you want to flourish. But if you stay diligent, pulling the weeds, watering the plants, and giving the garden the care it needs, it will thrive. Your mind works the same way. If you don't take care of your mind, if you don't pay attention to what's growing in it, negativity, doubt, and fear will take root. But if you're intentional, if you consciously plant thoughts of positivity, belief, and possibility, your mind will thrive. And when your mind flourishes, you'll see the results in every area of your life. Your relationships will improve, your career will take off, your overall sense of well-being will skyrocket, but it all begins with mastering your mind. You have to be the gardener. You have to decide what gets planted and what gets removed. And that requires effort. It takes discipline, consistency, and patience, but I promise you the rewards are worth it. So where do you start? How do you begin to take control of your mind? It starts with a decision. You have to decide that you're going to take control, that you're no longer going to let your mind dictate the course of your life. You have to commit to training your mind, to putting in the work necessary to shift your thinking. And once you make that decision, you need to follow it up with action. Start by becoming aware of your thoughts. Pay attention to the story you're telling yourself. Replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And most importantly, don't give up. It won't always be easy, but if you stay committed, you'll start seeing results. Years ago, I met a man who was struggling in his business. He was a hard worker, but no matter what he did, he couldn't seem to get ahead. He was frustrated, confused about why his efforts weren't paying off. So we sat down and talked, and it quickly became clear his problem wasn't his work ethic or his skills. His problem was his mindset. He was constantly focused on what wasn't working, on everything that could go wrong, on all the reasons why he wasn't succeeding. And because that was his focus, that's exactly what kept showing up in his life. I told him, you have to change your focus. You have to start focusing on what you want, not on what you don't want. At first, it wasn't easy. His mind had been conditioned to dwell on the negative for so long that shifting his thinking took real effort. But over time, he did it. He changed his focus, and as he did, his results changed too. His business began to grow. His confidence increased. He started seeing opportunities where he once saw only obstacles. Here's the point. When you control your mind, you control your destiny. You have the power to shape your life by shaping your thoughts. But it starts with you. No one else can do this for you. You have to be the one to take control. And I want you to know, it's never too late to start. It doesn't matter how long you've let your mind run unchecked. It doesn't matter how many negative thoughts have taken root. You can start today, right now. You can take back control. You can plant new thoughts, new beliefs, new possibilities. Remember this, you are the master of your mind, not the other way around. Your mind is a tool, and like any tool, it's meant to serve a purpose. But you have to be the one to guide it, to direct it, to control it. And when you do, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish.